Think we
What's
here.
up, bro?
Mr. Hunter, what's
How
going
you
on?
doing, man?
Doing all right, doing all right. How about yourself?
Dude, I can't complain, man. All is well.
That's good, that's good.
I'm trying to pin this thing. Hold on, so people can know what's going on.
No problem.
How do I pin? There we go. Oh, damn it. Too many comments
Listen,
coming
everybody,
in.
we all trying to learn how to work this thing. People doing lives, never done lives before. Everybody trying to figure it out.
Right.
Awesome, awesome.
Dude, so how's New York over there and everything?
Listen, it's raining and it's crazy because I was by my window, had to get that good light, and
Yeah.
then it just started raining real hard. So I was like, you guys can't hear me, so I had to go get my AirPod. I was like, make sure you have some make sure the microphone's working well. How about yourself?
Exactly. No, I
I know
hear you,
y'all
man.
sunny, right? It's sunny out in LA.
Dude, I wish that was the case, man. It's honestly gloomy as heck. Uh, it's empty, obviously. It's nothing going on. It's like literally a ghost town. It's quite crazy.
Yeah, y'all been on lockdown long time, long time.
Yeah, it's really been kind of interesting because, like, the LA lifestyle, LA culture is really like fast paced, and
Right,
people are always kind of out, especially during rush hour. It's like you leave the
right.
house now during rush hour, and it's kind of like, sheesh, nothing's going on. It's like a ghost town. So,
Well, so you leave during rush hour and actually can get to where you're supposed to go at a certain time.
yes, I mean now we ain't got nowhere to go. Oh man.
Exactly. All right, so everybody joining in. My name is Eric K. Thomas, and I'm the founder of the Quintessential Gentleman. Thank you guys for joining in with us as we do our virtual cuts and combos. And we have Mr. Broderick. I'm telling you, because people got to get it correct. People just say Broderick
Oh
Hunter.
man, it's not, it's so funny. It's not even that, not that serious, but
Right,
I get the mix between everybody. I get Broderick or Broderick, or
right.
that's why I say, look, just call me B. It's so much simpler that way. Nobody gets anything butchered.
Right, right. Okay, so let's before we get into the cuts aspect of it, just for people that don't know who you are, you were a model and you started out as a model.
Mm.
How did you start out?
With modeling, it was kind of more something that was kind of more of an accident. I'll be honest. It was about 2009, 2010. I was still getting recruited to play basketball. And when I finally got my scholarship to my school of choice, that was UCF, I ended up actually getting hurt during practice and I lost my scholarship. So
Damn.
I came back home. I went back to California, went to junior college, still tried to do the whole basketball route thing, but it wasn't really my passion. Later on, like about a year later, a photographer reached out to me and said, "Hey, man, you should try getting into fashion modeling." I was like, "Nah. Hell no, I'm not gonna shoot these free throws." so,
Right, right, right.
so then eventually I reconsidered and I took the photo shoot opportunity. The pictures ended up doing really well, and then at that time, Facebook was really, really big. So I ended up getting featured on a few blogs, and I ended up
Oh,
actually getting a lot more traction on that side than I was with basketball. So I kind of just segued into doing fashion modeling, and then a
model.
year and a half later, I got signed, and the rest is history. Long story short.
So but how was it getting signed? Because you always hear these horror
Oh,
stories
sheesh.
of, black people and
Yeah,
especially like black men
yeah.
getting into the industry.
Man, back then, I mean, it's different now, but back then, in like the early 2010 eras, like between 2010 2013, they were really only allowing like about
Right.
maybe two or three black men on any board. So if you can have a great look,
Wow.
you can walk into any agency and they're like, "Oh, we already have someone that looks like you." No, you're not that marketable. I was told I was too dark a few times
Wow.
through certain agencies. Yeah, but it was,
And
that's
that
the
was
thing.
in
It was really
2000s?
hmm?
That was in 2000s, 2010?
2000, about two, yeah,
And still
2010.
hearing those type of remarks.
Yep. Yep.
Wow.
Yep. 2010. It's like, oh, our clients kind of like the lighter brown boys. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? They have
Right.
certain ways of trying to say it. So,
Right.
that was a huge battle that I was going with throughout my career. So eventually, when I moved to Miami, then I lived in Milan, then I lived in New York, the
Oh, wow.
feedback that I was getting was substantially different. Some of
Right.
them could afford having a dark skinned boy on the board. Some
Right.
people in LA just couldn't. So it was really trying to find that balance, but that's how hard it was trying to get signed back then. it was not a fun experience at all.
I'm sure. I'm sure. So you were doing the modeling thing. I actually read that you just kind of actually lost the passion for modeling. So you worked so hard to be signed, you become a model, you do it, and then what happened?
Well, when I started my career, in the beginning stages, I was doing a few campaigns here and there for several different brands, like, you know, Philip Klein and Tommy Hilfiger, you know, those types of people. Then eventually a few of us got into the Ralph Lauren contract. So after I got my Ralph Lauren contracts, when that was up, I kind of started to really feel like that there was a gap. Not a gap, I'm sorry, a ceiling in terms of creativity. And I couldn't really do what I wanted to do on the modeling aspect because the industry was really changing. The industry wasn't really allowing the creative push they weren't looking for the guys that were, like, you know, able to do these things in front of the camera, or they wanted guys to be more depressed. They wanted everything just, you know, if you see fashion nowadays, everything's like, oh, it's like down, depressing. It's like weird. Like, they didn't want like the smiley, you know, necessarily quote unquote handsome type of guys. They just kind of really just wanted to water down what Black beauty really is, and that's what really bothered me. So when I started seeing that happen, I really just kind of lost a huge push within myself to want to continue creating on the modeling aspect and want to continue doing photo shoots or even being, you know, in the editorials and stuff, because we weren't being valued or represented the way I felt like we should have been. So when I saw that, I eventually just said, you know what, fuck it, I'm going to start acting. I moved to LA. My first role was on Insecure, and then several roles later after
was it
that.
Felix? Felix?
Yeah, Felix. I'm like Clark. At least I'm like Clark Kent with the glasses.
Right. That was dope. So you started out. That was your first scene, or your first acting at all. Your first role. How did you get that? I read that it was through social media, right?
Kind of not. What happened was when Issa was casting, her people were casting for stuff, Issa was already kind of familiar with who I was. And she had just said, hey, man, I love what you're doing. Wants to know if you want to audition for the show. I said, for sure, I'll come audition. Went to audition for the character Felix that she had in mind for me. And they ended up loving what I did. And then we just ended up using it. But the original gap that made that happen was through actually Issa reaching out and saying, hey, are you interested in this opportunity? Got it.
That's dope. So right now y'all have completed a project over at BET Plus. Can you tell us about that? Tell us a little bit more about that.
Oh, the influence on BET Plus. Yeah, there's a few things going on. I'm trying to remember.
Excuse me.
No, not even roles. Like because every other week I feel like I'm promoting something different, because we just had one on Amazon that just dropped. So I'm like, BET was in February. That influence released in February. And I played Michael Jones on that, and basically it's a situation where my character gets brought into this all-Black law firm, and he has to basically help solve this case of a murder mystery between the singer who's been accused of killing her husband, and that's played by Anthony Hamilton, and his wife is played by Deborah Cox. I share my majority of my time on the scenes with Robert Duvernay Smith, his resume goes all over the place between Denzel Washington, and the list goes on. So he ends up becoming my boss, and then I'm just going along with him throughout this whole journey of finding out how this woman, or did this woman, kill her husband. And it ends up becoming pretty interesting. So yeah, that's on BET Plus right now. And there's
so everybody got to tune in, and
real great cast with it. Real great cast with Short, Drew Sidora.
Oh wow. So you have that one. That one's already out, and the Amazon one that's coming out. But that's out too.
The one on Amazon is called They Come, They Go, and that's a short film that me and Khadijah Cherie star in, and that's a Black love story, which has been well received as well. That came out 2 weeks ago. So yeah, so you can actually stream that on Amazon Prime right now.
That's dope. Black love story. So I follow you on Twitter. First of all, you had me cracking up. One thing I really like about you is, like, you don't care, and it's funny. I'm so used to social media and seeing people like, oh, I'm the best, or oh, I'm great, or everybody putting out their accolades. On your Twitter, you're like, I don't understand why you guys like Broderick Hunter.
Oh
Like, I
yeah,
don't get it. Like, he's canceled. What are you guys doing? And I'm like, what's he doing? It's so funny though.
because I do that because it's funny because I sometimes occasionally I see certain things that people would say about me or you know how they chime in. So I kind of like to troll back and just be like, well, I don't like Broderick neither. Broderick's lame. Shit, I don't know why y'all didn't cancel this motherfucker a long time ago. So I get relatively I just like to have fun with my Twitter followers. I really think Twitter's a way to showcase your personality. I feel like Instagram's more of, you know, showcasing your brand or how you look or whatever. So I can go off the wall on Twitter. Might get canceled a few times, but it's okay.
It's okay. You'll come back. You'll be all right. Another thing on your Twitter too is that I really enjoy is how unapologetically Black you are and a supporter of like Black women. So one of my questions, which, you know, I really want to hear the answer to is why do you think it's so important for Black men specifically to be a champion of Black women?
Why do I feel like Black men should be a champion to Black women?
Right. It sounds like a dumb. It's like, of course you should be.
Oh no,
but
it's not. Well, honestly, it's not even. It's not a dumb question anymore because I feel like the people from my era, we need to start educating the younger generation on the value of Black women and what Black women actually mean to our community. I feel like Black women have always been the stipend of the Black community. They're the most appropriated. They're the most hated. They're the most copied. And I feel like us as men, we need to be at the forefront fighting with our Black women to ensure that their safety is, because guess what? Me and you wouldn't be here without a woman in our life. Your mother, your sister, whoever.
Your grandmother.
There's great women, Black women especially, behind every great Black man.
Right.
But unfortunately with Black men, we tend to put Black women behind us and think that we have to either put them down to seem validated in this white America or in these times of where we feel that we need to have to be accepted into a culture when it's the exact opposite. Right. But if you have Black women in your life, you will always win. You will always be cared for, and you will always have the support and grounding you needed. But if you're not educated on that, then you wouldn't know what that means. So that's why I feel like it's very important to consistently uplift and celebrate Black women, because they are and will always be at the forefront of our culture and our livelihood.
Right. Yeah, I definitely agree. It's crazy because, you know, talk about Black women, talking about Black people, you know, the coronavirus and everything is going crazy now. And I know like a week ago, they were saying, where are the reports on the demographic of people being killed by the coronavirus? And then they pulled out the reports. I think Louisiana specifically, 70% of those of the people that died were African American. And I'm like, yo, the country honestly has failed us. Although I guess we shouldn't even feel like we shouldn't be surprised that we are the way we are. But it just, when you have the numbers right there and it's like, damn, like really y'all just, and then I heard somebody on some news thing say, well, you know, Louisiana's home of the po' boy sandwich and, you know, people don't eat well. And I'm like, eat well? You mean to tell me the fact that they don't have health care, the fact that they're an essential worker and have to go to work because they don't have high paying jobs. And it's just, it's crazy to me. But I mean, definitely you could chime in about what you think about how the government is handling the coronavirus pandemic.
I mean, I feel like it's being, I'm not going to get too political, but I feel like it's not being handled the best. Not even in terms of, you know, who's in charge and the leader. Right. The country right now. I do feel like it could have been handled differently, just because in terms of knowledge and listening, because when you have those types of people in office, and you feel like you know everything, you're not gonna be able to receive anything. Right. So Trump was given this information apparently way back in November. Right. And there was nothing being done about it, and there's still not really much being done about it besides, okay, all the stores are closed. No, you need to do what these other countries done. Ban travel, ban this, ban that. And the fact that you still have people who actually rely on a 9-to-5 and rely on something that might be day to day, and you're not able to offer any type of support to them besides a $1,200 stimulus check that probably nobody's received yet. How do you expect these people to pay their bills, look after themselves, and keep America running? But you're looking after the rich. You're not looking after the people who actually are the stipend of America. So
Yep.
I don't really feel like it's been handled properly. It's definitely getting handled now, but it could have been avoided in my honest
long time
opinion.
ago.
Yeah,
I agree.
You can't avoid the virus, but we can handle how how we could have prepared
the
for
spread
it,
and the preparedness.
you know, preventing the spreads and stuff like that. So it's just different. It's just really different. I hope it all gets better relatively soon.
Yeah. I saw one, somebody had a question. They said they see you from Nigeria. What tribe are you from?
Batete, we're Igbo.
Igbo, that's right. My
Yeah,
father
man.
is Nigerian and he's from Lagos, so we Yoruba. So
Oh, bless, man. You still brother, man. I
still
don't know
brother,
about your
end of the
Jollof,
day.
but you know, you cool though.
That's another conversation. We're not gonna do the jello on IG Live. It could get real heated real quick. So
Yeah.
all right. So one of the things is you real big on one. You see, I got a hat on because I don't have the skills that you have.
Oh shit.
When it comes to when it comes to cutting hair by yourself, without having a barber. But when it comes to cutting your own hair, how did you learn how to do that?
Man, well, I was already kind of interested in cutting my own hair when I was like 15, because my dad wouldn't necessarily go to the barbershop a lot. Like, you know, some guys, I was playing basketball back then, you know, everybody had the fresh cuts, designs, all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, every time I go to school the week after a haircut, I start to look a little raggedy. And I'm like, damn, my friends over here looking kind of fresh. I'm like, I gotta probably, it's like, I can't ask my dad to give me 10, you know, back then it was like maybe $10, $15 to get a haircut. Yep. Now it's like, you know, 45, 50, you know.
Ooh, them LA prices.
According to what people are saying. So I'm all like, okay, well, I got to figure out doing this on my own. So when I was young, I would always like, you know, play with some trimmers. I fuck up my hairline quite a bit, don't get me wrong. And then I would just try to like learn certain little tricks and stuff. When I really started to learn how to actually get better at cutting hair, it was actually when I lived in Miami at the time. I was on base out there for an agency for a year, and I wasn't booking. I wasn't making any money. I couldn't afford to go to a barbershop and get my hair cut. So I spent like $40, got some clippers from Sally's and some cheap liners, and I looked up YouTube videos on how to fade and stuff like that. And I just learned and practiced because I couldn't afford a cut. So it was like kind of like, you know, do or die. You either, and I'm already a black boy in Miami, so I had to be on point. Like I had no choice. I couldn't be out here looking raggedy. So that kind of put a fire under me to continue to learn how to cut my hair, and then also it put not more value, I should say, but more knowledge to want to learn more about self-care, because you're not going to always have access to somebody who's going to be able to take care of you. That's regarding your hair, even fixing a pipe, or putting together, you know, assembling something. You always want to be able to do something for yourself. And cutting hair was one thing that I definitely wanted to learn for myself, that I could pass on that knowledge to my kids or anybody who wants to learn those things. So it's been, outside of being therapeutic, it's been very kind of like philanthropic for me as well, to share my knowledge. And I enjoy sharing my knowledge.
That's dope. So your beard. So I know you're gonna, are you gonna show us how you keep it growing?
Sure, I'll show you guys real quick. Let me unmount this thing real quick. Yeah, I'm gonna show you guys how to like trim your beard real quick. Let's see if I can run this off. Boom. I'm getting old every day, man. Every single day I feel like I'm aging like 3 months. Oh man.
I hear bones cracking every time I walk. I'm like, damn.
Bro, it is not a fun place to be. I think I left my little attachment over here. Hold on. Just so I can have like a free hand.
Yep.
Let's mount this real quick.
So if you guys just tuning in, we're here with Broderick Hunter. We just doing our cuts and combos, had a nice conversation with him. Somebody just asked what we're doing. And now he's about to tell us how to trim his beard, or trim your beard. And then also some of his favorite products on growing his beard.
Yes. Okay. That was swift and easy. Okay, I think, let me do this real quick. Okay, I think can you guys see me well?
Yep.
Okay, cool. All right, so mainly what I do when I'm trying to like do some like beard work I'm always trying to like, I'm not trying to cut my beard. I'm always really just using a comb. So what I do is, where's my stuff at? Damn. Sure. Okay, sweet. So what I do is for my beard, whenever I'm trying to like trim it up real quick, I usually go like against the grain like this and get everything out. And then as you see where all those loose ends are. All you have to do when you want to trim your beard or you want to like kind of like freshen it up a little bit, when you see those little loose ends, literally just clip along those loose ends right here.
Okay. So you don't use clippers, it's always scissors.
This is what I started with. I start out with the scissors, and then I clip the ends. And this will also help it grow faster as well, because anytime you clip the ends, it'll hold that end root will grow stronger and actually grow a lot thicker anytime you cut it. So that's why I always recommend guys clipping the ends of your hair, even like the hair on top of your head as well. If you just clip the ends, it'll grow a lot faster.
Okay.
So then after that, I grab my liners. These are from Gamma. These are like one of my favorites. And then what I would do is I would start where the hair is kind of like getting dark to light. I'm just gonna go like right into like right there. And just go into a C form.
You gotta have steady hands for that.
Yeah, steady hands. But that's also why I tell guys, whenever you're trying to cut your hair, just relax into it. Right. It's not doing surgery. You're not trying to like do a design. You're literally just going along your regular line, the regular process.
Yep.
And then after that, I just take my scissors again, and then strip that little end. And basically just blends it all in, and then like keep lining it up like right there.
Yep. I'm have to get my life together. Perfect tutorial, guys. Hope you guys taking notes.
And then as for the mustache, like if you just like fold over like on that little line right there, I kind of already did it, but if you like take your scissor and wherever the hair goes over your lip, just literally just go along the lip line. And cut it to your liking. And that's basically all you have to do to do your beard. And then after that, I usually grab like this Uncle Jimmy beard softener and slap that on. And it adds like a nice like cool little sheen to it.
That's it. So you do exactly that, and you have a beard like Broderick Hunter.
I'm gonna do this side later, but if you can see, like this side is a lot more smooth, a lot more defined, and this side is kind of like still has a little stragglers and stuff like that. Right. So it's funny how just the difference of a light lineup versus a light trim will do. Yep. That's always what I learned, especially when it comes down to barbering.
Perfect. So y'all guys had it right there. Nice little tutorial how to trim your beard, how to keep it fresh, keep it grown. All right, so before we get out of here, we're going to do some rapid fire questions. All right.
Cool.
All right, let me see. Let me get these right. Hold on. All right. You ready?
Yep, I'm good to go, man.
Cool. So, question number 1. Which female character would you date on Insecure?
Sheesh, damn. They're peers. I'm gonna go with Molly because I love dark skinned women.
Come on, Molly. You want a nice lawyer bae.
And, she got her own thing going for her. She got her own money and stuff. You know, she might be a little crazy, but
A little bit here and there. Who isn't? What's your favorite social media app during social distancing?
My favorite social media app?
Yep.
Twitter for sure.
Twitter. What does quarantine and chill look like to you?
Quarantine and chill to me, home cooked meal, good movie, and wine.
If Supreme, Off-White, or Louis Vuitton made quarantine gear, you know, like masks or gloves, which brand would you be rocking?
Between Louis Vuitton,
Off-White, or Supreme?
I'm going to go with Off-White.
Off-White.
Yeah.
What has been your favorite TikTok challenge?
Sheesh, that damn, what's that shit? Because I'm not even on TikTok right now. The makeup brush one that all the black girls are doing. They go the do and then they go. Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of those. Those are pretty cool.
So the Don't Rush challenge.
Yeah, the Don't Rush challenge.
Perfect. If you had to watch a 90s TV show for 24 hours, which one would it be?
90s TV show for 24 hours?
For 24 hours.
Oh, man. Okay, I'm going with Fresh Prince.
Fresh Prince.
Yeah.
All right. If you could co-host one of these TV shows, which one would it be? 106 & Park, Rip the Runway, or Spring Bling?
I'm going to go with 106 & Park.
106 & Park. Okay. All right. So are you co-hosting it with Terrence and or you going with Free?
We're going old school. We're going AJ and Free. I was 8 years old back then, but if it was right now, I'd be up in there.
In there. Perfect. So what song would you be okay with never been created? So if this song was never created, you would be okay with it. Usher, Confessions, Beyonce, Me, Myself, and I, or Michael Jackson, Rock With You.
Damn. Okay. Man, listen, I grew up on Usher. I love Usher.
Hold up. Don't. Usher is my favorite artist.
My favorite too, but you gave me. I can't cancel Beyonce. We look alike, so that's gonna that's gonna make everybody go up the flames. And Michael Jackson, man, no, I'm sorry. Usher, Confessions gotta go.
Damn.
Sorry about that.
Tell him. I'm sending this to him right now.
If you said you remind me, then
so remind
Beyonce
me what it is.
But Confessions can go.
All right. If you had to choose after the club to eat one of these things, which one would it be? A Philly cheesesteak, pizza, or Atlanta lemon pepper wings?
I'm gonna go with Chicago pizza, deep dish.
Deep dish.
Yeah, deep dish Chicago pizza, man.
I'm from Philly, so I'm doing my cheesesteak all day, every day.
Good luck on that toilet, bro.
All right, so last question. So if you had to be roommates with living singles Overton and Kyle, different worlds Dwayne and Ron, or Wayans brothers Sean and Marlon, which one would you be?
Oh, we're going Wayans brothers, Sean and Marlon.
Wayans brothers?
That's jokes all day, man.
Hold on. You gotta think about that. No sleep, but also you might not have a house. Where's the money coming in for rent? You know that Marlon not giving y'all nothing.
Who cares, man? That's laughs. We can laugh on the street corner.
I can't. Perfect. Anything you got coming up you want to let us know that we need to look out for?
No, besides Influence and They Come, They Go, you can check those both out on Amazon Prime and BET Plus. But also I have a new film coming out called California Love. We haven't set a release date on that, but it's a true story based on the LA gang riots back in the 90s. Right. And I play Angelo Adams. It's going to be a great story, man. I don't want to give away too much of it because nothing's dropped yet. But yeah, it's going to be a lot. It's going to be a very touching story. Perfect. All right. Well, again, I appreciate it, Mr. Broderick Hunter, for coming in for our cuts and combos with the Quintessential Gentleman. You guys make sure y'all follow him and stay tuned. Guys, thank you guys. Appreciate you. Of course. Talk to you later. Peace, y'all.